What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some very important economic data that just came out as the PCE numbers are in, and also what data is coming out later on for the day to affect the markets. I'm going to break down what the news is saying about the markets, and once again what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. But before I break anything down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. This offer ends in just 4 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. So, we just got some very important economic data. As I suspected, guys, yesterday, the PCE data came in line with expectations. You could see core PCE month over month was 0.3%. That's aligning with expectations. Personal income month over month was aligning with expectations. Everything has been quite decent so far. Now, the two biggest ones are going to be the year over years. PCE year over year was 3.4%, aligning with expectations. And then core PCE year over year was 3.7%. That's also aligning with expectations and lower than the previous report. So decent so far. Now, the question is what's going to happen moving forward? At 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, so right before the market opens, we have Parr from the Fed giving a speech. We have one Fed speaker, and then we have only one major piece of data. I wouldn't necessarily say it's major, but at least maybe like somewhat significant. One more somewhat significant piece of data left for the day, basically, at least one range of data. And we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Reports and the Michigan 5-year inflationary expectations all coming out at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, or 30 minutes after the market opens. So expect some volatility then. We'll see how this affects the markets, but so far things are still looking quite decent. Moving forward, stocks have been on a loosening week as we enter Friday, seeing lots of sellers stepping in. There's some news coming out about the fact that Amazon's operating margin is a little thicker these days, and they basically achieved a margin of 7.8%. That's its best showing since 8.2% in the first quarter of 2021, which is good news for them. They're cutting costs even more, and they're continuing to do very well so far. They had some strong guidance. Amazon is up nicely, and this should continue as time goes on. Looking at Ford, the company was the first of the Detroit 3 automakers to strike a deal with the UAW. And once again, this is big news for them, and we'll see what happens moving forward to the other ones out there. Now, there's more things going on overseas, and we have big oil earnings coming out. I think we have ExxonMobil and Chevron coming out very, very soon. We will see what happens. Their profits may decline. I think that they just came out. Oil prices were higher than what some people were expecting, and they're going to be taking a hit because of the entire war situations and etc. So that's going to be very important. But besides that, now let's break down what's going on with these charts. So looking at SPY right now, we're at 414. This thing looks like it has a double bottom like formation. It's trying to uptrend a bit. Now, I also want to note that we're currently up 0.52%. We are technically, or we might end up gapping up during the pre-market. So, could we come down a bit to fill the gap and then bounce and start pushing up higher? That's a possibility. Or we could just try bouncing from here. It's got to be one of those two. So we'll see what happens 30 minutes after open when all this data comes out. But for now, the data has been positive. Amazon is up over 5% thanks to its earnings. That's going to help the markets. PCE was aligned with expectations. That's helping the markets. The market liked that. So far, the market's reacting very positively to all this data. It's possible we come down to fill this gap towards 412.5 around there, and then we bounce very nicely, see the market pop, or we just pump from here. We don't really fill that gap. We just see the markets start to get bought up again. If in either way, whether we drop or not, I just want to note that we have some nice support at 412 on SPY. We also have support around this 411.5 area and then 410 as key supports. Even if we revisit these low levels, I think buyers will step in and start pushing it right back up. Now, for resistance, watch 415, 416, 417, 418. There's some at 419, nothing too crazy, and then 420 flat. Exactly, because we respect these levels very nicely over the last couple of days. You could see how we respected them. So watch these levels. I think that the odds favor upside. I think we're going to be trying to make our way up even higher going into today. So it's 417 plus. I think the odds greatly favor that. Max pain is also much higher than where currently. I'm sorry, it's much higher than where we currently are, and we have a lot of puts expiring that I showed you guys yesterday. So that's going to have a big effect on the charts. We also had a bullish divergence on SPY from yesterday, and this could end up playing out. The QQQ is at 346, holding above 345.8. If we lose this, watch it come down towards 345 flat and 344 and 342.6. If we're bullish, we want to get above 348. If we break this, there's going to be a nice push for 350 coming. Did I say 4? I meant 3. Sorry, guys. 350 is going to be the next level. So watch 348 as resistance. If you break this, 350 is coming, and there's a good chance of that potentially playing out. We also have these imbalances at 352 that could lead to more upside. So I'm anticipating a bounce even on the QQQ thanks to Amazon. So watch that very carefully. For Apple, we're looking a bit more very flat right now. Let me just check where we are. We're only up like 0.1% because we did get some price cuts thanks to their iPhone 15 sales decrease. But there was a bullish divergence yesterday, and this suggests that there could be some upside coming. Apple's a little bit slower. We want to see Apple break 168. If we do so, watch 169 to 169.3. If we break that, watch 170 as resistance. For support, you're going to be watching this 166 area. If we lose it, watch 165. Right now, the odds favor the upside. I think Apple's going to test 168 and possibly break it, get very close to 169 plus very, very soon. So I'm still leaning more in that direction, but watch those levels just to be safe. For Nvda, on Nvda, we're currently at about 411. This imbalance right here is where our resistance happens to be. If we break this, you're going to be watching this thing push for 413. That's from the pre-market high. If we break that, 416.8, followed by 420 are going to be some important levels. If we break 420, watch 422.5 and then 425 above that. For support, you're going to be watching this 408 to 407 area. If we lose this, watch 405, 402, and then 400. My guts tells me about like a double bottom like formation. We also are forming like an inverse head and shoulders. So the odds favor Nvidia potentially trying to push up higher towards 420. I'm leaning more bullish on Nvidia for today. We could start off kind of like choppy just for the beginning, but later on, I think upside is still very probable. For Tesla, I think I went over everything except for Tesla. Tesla is still looking quite strong. Now we have this gap to fill below, so it is still possible. Tesla comes down initially for liquidity grab, and then we start pumping, or it might not come down because of the fact that it had a bullish divergence right here, and buyers are starting to step in already, and we could be forming kind of like a slanted inverse head and shoulders. So there's no guarantee we come down to fill the gap today. If we lose 208, then we could come down to fill the gap at 205 and then bounce. If we're bullish, you want to see Tesla break and hold at 215. If it does so, I expect 218 to be tested. It looks to me like it's looking a bit more bullish and wants to test this 218 to 220 area. So I'm leaning more bullish on Tesla thanks to Amazon, the fact that it beat on earnings, thanks to some decent news, and thanks to the fact that PCE was decent. So the odds favor 220 on Tesla. I think we may see some upside, so watch these levels very, very carefully. But don't forget about support, so watch 210, 208, and then 206 as key supports. If we lose 208, we're going to be likely coming down to 205. For resistance, watch 212. Don't forget about 212, 215, 216.8, and 218 to 220. My guts tells me the odds favor the upside, and there's going to be a move to the upside very, very soon. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Thanks again, and peace out.